So in our Ready Map books today, this one, remember we have two different ones, the more colorful one. I think you guys need to help me come up with a better name for it than that. But we are going to be working on some pages in our book today. Now remember yesterday, we were working on this tape diagram. And there's different models that we can use to show the problem. One way is a bar model, a tape diagram, or a number bond. And today we are going to work on solving. Our learning target is to solve word problems, and this is a take apart word problem that we are going to solve. We're going to read the problem, so you're going to read this with me. You may need to pause and get your book and find page 10, and we are going to do pages 10 and 11 in our book. Then you're going to press play again after you come back with your book and turn to page 10. So our problem says that there are 15 players. There are 15 players on a team. There are 7 girls. The rest of the players are boys. How many boys are on the team? So one thing that we can do is we can model it. You can use words in a tape diagram. So instead of writing numbers, they wrote girls and boys, because there's girls and boys on the team. The next thing we can do is after we model it, we have to make sure that we understand it. You can write what you know and don't know. Well, what do we know? We know that the total number of players is 15 because that's what it tells us in our story, 15 players on the team. And we do know that there are 7 girls. So we can write number of girls is 7. The number of boys is what we don't know, so we use a question mark. And so that's what we have to figure out. So now we can picture it. That means we draw a picture of it. So they would draw 15 circles. You see them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 players, and you'll see that there are how many girls? Do you remember from our story? 7. So they put the G for the girl. There are 7, you see right here in the hole, 7 girls. So those are the girls, and if you count the rest, you can figure out how many boys there are. So I'm going to cover up the girls. Now let's count the boys. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So how many boys? We can write 8. There are 8 boys. Okay. Now we're going to connect it. So we're going to use a model, an equation to solve the problem. So what number is the total? What part do you know? Complete the model at the right. Well, if we go back to our story, we look here at this story, this problem we just read, and we know that the whole is this biggest number here, 15. So we would write 15. Right here. That's in our tape diagram. Similar to just exactly the same thing as a number bond, isn't it? So now we're going to write 2 equations for this model. Now, this is the part we know. And from our story, we know the number of girls is 7. So we can say that this is the one part we know, and remember we just figured out the missing part. And what was the missing part? How many boys? Remember that question mark that we figured out? That was going to be 8, right? So we know that that is 8. So we know that this is the part we know. So the 7 would go here, 7 would go here, and this is the mystery, the part we just figured out. We know that 7 plus 8 equals 15. I'm just going to write it right over that question mark. And we know if we have 15, and if you take that 7 away, how many are left? 8. So 15 minus 7 equals 8. Okay? So I'm going to give you a bonus today. I'm going to say you do not have to do this part. But we're going to skip down to number 5. And that question says, how many boys are on the team? What did we figure out? How many boys are on the team? 8. How do we know? How do we know? Right here, did we draw a picture right here to figure out how many boys are on the team? If we have 15 and we took this 7 away, there were 8 left over. So tell how you know. I'm going to tell you right now that you do not have to write that down, but you can tell someone at home, how do you know that there were 8 boys on the team? Talk about it. Why can you add or subtract to solve the problem on the previous page? Write about it. So again, I'm just going to have you talk about this part at home where it says talk about it. Why can you add or subtract to solve the problem on the previous page? Remember, this is our previous page that we were just looking at. And we can think of these as a fact family, can't we? And these numbers belong together in a special way. So we know if we have 15 players and take 7 away, 8 are left. And all of these numbers are related in a special way. So that will help us solve, to add or subtract to solve the problem. We can say 7 plus 8 is 15, or we can say 15 take away 7 is 8. So now we're going to do one more thing. Try another problem. It says that Jen has 12 pencils, 7 are blue, the rest are white. It doesn't tell us how many are white. That's what we have to figure out. So we have to figure out how many pencils are white and write an equation or a number sentence to solve. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to draw a little number bond, and you're going to have to finish it. I'm not going to finish it for you. So we know, this is what we know. We know the whole total number of pencils is 12. So that 12, the whole will go there. And one thing we know is that 7 are blue. So that's one part. What we have to figure out is this missing part. So I'm going to put a question mark. That's what we need to figure out. So I want you to figure out that question mark. Okay? So you can say that 7 plus question mark would equal 12. Or you could say that 12, and if we take away 7, what is left? Your job is to figure out this question mark. Show me when you know. Take a picture, turn it in.